Hey everybody, how you doing today? This is Reed from Clockwise Thoughts. I do want to welcome you guys back. Um, Interesting conversation today. Interesting conversation. So I want to ask, what happened to DJs? Where are the DJs? Like
You mean
real.
DJ from Street Fighter or
No, 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 not DJ, but real DJs, real disc jockeys. The cats that actually spin and the cats that got everybody into it and got the parties right. So where are the DJs going? Today we're gonna have a Scout's gonna bring us in on this one.
All right. My main question is like I said, where's the DJs? Do you really consider DJs being artists now? Because take DJ Khaled, Premier and them. They used to come out with a lot of mixtapes, or they used to be in the back spinning the records for the artists to be doing. Now they get multi-million-dollar checks, deals, and everything else. So where's really the DJs at? Where are the people that are behind the scenes making sure the crowd is still flowing, the artists don't miss a beat, they songs is flowing right, the setups is going. Where are those guys at? Because now it seems to me they're so easily hooked by saying one line or one or two liners and they get multi-million dollars. So my question to y'all is like, where are the DJs?
well,
Because
I think
mhm.
no, I was
Go
saying
ahead.
I think it's 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 strange because I feel where you're coming from as far as where was that one guy that's actually working the boards or working the actual turntables, but I think one of the biggest contributors to maybe that disappearing to a degree, and I'm gonna say a degree only because I do know some people who are they DJ just not in what we would consider the conventional way. And Scout, you an old head, but I think technology basically kind of weeded out the turntable. I think before a DJ would show up with, the crates of the albums and the turntables and the big speakers and what have you. Now, honestly, they show up with like a laptop. Like I think my friend's wedding reception. You know what I mean? We had a high school friend that DJ'd and he does DJ Big, shout out. Um, but literally, it's kind of showing up with a laptop. Now, some of the applications allow you to put your finger on the screen and move the turntables like you would a real set. But it's almost like technology basically said, look, instead of doing all of that, we can synthesize everything and you can just mix it that way by ear. So it's not so much as you having to be out there up front and center to be a DJ. You can literally just be in the back. But it's almost like the difference between a DJ and a producer got blurred because they're almost the same thing now.
I mean, they essentially they are the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, if we're like you said, if we're going back to actual DJs, if we're going back to the actual guys who spent when you had the breaks, when you had people, when you actually had people going out and partying and dancing, when you had the real block parties, the what we would consider DJs are gone. You have, yes, synthesized music. Carrying your laptop is essentially carrying three or four crates, but it's different from having those guys go out there and actually trying to mix it in and blend it right there in front of you. I can and blend it at home and then go out and hit a button and then walk off.
Mhm.
Like I still
Mhm.
have one of my buddies, DJ Circuit. He mixes for fun, but like he has two tables in the basement. He has three crates. He just started doing music again because he's been out for a while, but he still has all of that. And that in itself is a lost art form. But yeah, I agree with you. The line between production and actual DJing has blurred to a sense where all DJs are producers and all producers are DJs.
Yeah, because it's pretty much the same editing and cutting and what have you. I also know a guy I went to high school with, I connected with on Facebook, DJ Illusion, out of Sunrise, and it's the same thing. Like, he knows how to take the laptop, take the computer, set up everything, but he'll actually drag along the entire realistic, the tables, the crates, and everything, just in case you want to actually see what it looks like to perform. Because in a sense, DJing it's a performance as well.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It essentially is.
Yeah, I had an
But it's
application
also
on my computer. Oh, go ahead, Scout.
No, go.
Oh no, I was gonna say back in high school, I had a program that was called Automix, ATOMIX, and it was literally, a program. It showed you the tables and everything, and it let you blend the songs in however you wanted, match the treble, match the pace and the frequency, almost like you were really a DJ. But like you said, Ree, it was literally just push the button to go. Everything was already pre-set up. So
Right.
the set list was already determined, the blends and everything was already determined, kind of like what they do on the radio. And it was just press and walk off. And you could just download the entire 12, 13 song mix as one gigantic file, put that on like an MP3 player, plug a speaker up to it, and you're done.
Yeah, you're good to go. So yeah, man, it's, once again, the art of DJing, the art. Notice, once again, I said art. That art form is gone. The DJs that we have on the radio, I do want to ask them, like, when you guys are figuring out your mixes, are you actually, spinning the records? Like, I know you don't get a chance to go into the studio as much as you would like now, but like, are you literally going and looking at your disc, at your 45s or whatever, and like, okay, this is what I'm going to use, and are you spinning it that way? Or is it like, okay, I got my Mac, I have these, I mean, even if you have an electronic, if you have the electronic turntables, the little ones for the CDs, and you put them in there and you spinning off of that, I count that, because it's still, this is what I need. But are you doing that, or are you just sitting there, with all 9 million songs ever made that's on your computer? Like, I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to take this one. I need to speed this one up to go with this beat. So, there are things that I really want to know about this. Like, how do you guys do it? How did you decide to do it? But is your art lost in a sense because nobody does it anymore? Or are you trying to preserve it?
I've been to many DJing stuff with my cousin Horace and my other cousin Robert, and Robert still do it from time to time. He, clean stuff he posts on Facebook for covering parties, stuff like that. But I've actually sat there and seen Horace, do the old school. The people come over with a request saying, "Hey, can you play my jam?" He slowed down the one song, get the tempo right, and then blend it in extra nice. I think a lot of times that craft is gone.
Yeah.
To be honest, because now, don't get me wrong, it's more digital. That way you can still do, but man, I think a lot of people, in a sense, need to understand, hey, you got to understand when the hook comes in, or when to fade it out, or when to blend it here. You got to know when to come in on the upbeat or on the down, all of that. But both of them is like how you said, it's now so far intertwined that you basically a producer, but you still got to put on a show. Netflix put out a great documentary about all of it. It's besides hip hop, rhyme and reason, but they also put out a DJ. One of these guys travels around the world, sells out stadiums just for people to hear him blend music. And I'm not saying it wasn't their time to be due, because I know DJ Jazzy Jeff, everybody else who's paid their dues, it's, they deserve that. They've been in the back supporting these groups or these major artists forever. They deserve that. But a lot of people nowadays are more more just looking at them as, okay, you got a whole bunch of artists, but are you doing the rhyming? And the only one I can think of to this day that led the forefront that the craft can be more is Dr. Dre. He was a DJ. You know what I'm saying? He was a DJ, and he was spinning the records and everything else. But he was just more than that. You know, he took time into the craft and everything else. And I think a lot of people just waste it. They just, oh, well, it's like how you said, I got this thumb drive. This stuff is already through this program. It's auto blend. Only thing I got to do is make sure the crowd is jumping. Get on the mic every few minutes or whatever else, and that's it. And to me, it's like, only thing anybody can just plug in a plastic.
You know, but
Actually take, more than that.
But with Dr. Dre, wouldn't you have to consider him an anomaly out of him, because he, like you said, he was a DJ first. That's where he got his name. That's where he got his start. You know.
No.
Shout out to DJ Quick, by the way, on that.
Right, just like, but that's just like RZA. RZA DJ, and then he moved over into that production avenue. But wouldn't you have to consider them anomalies, though? You know, it's different from going from DJing, producing, instead of just saying, all right, I got this production equipment and I'm gonna call myself a DJ.
Well, I wanna say this. As far as it being an anomaly, maybe we could just say it was ahead of its time, because I'm pretty sure if you check broadcasting schools and things of that nature now, it's all digital. I think one of the biggest things that we're probably missing on this entire topic as to where the DJ went, it's not so much that where the DJ went, it's the art of scratching is no longer necessary, I guess we could say. Because realistically, what did you need a guy to spin records for effectively, aside from blending the music? To scratch on a certain, you know what I mean, to move with a certain flow. There's no more scratching at all. Maybe that's where the loss of breakdancing and b-boys just kind of decided to blend or to fade out into, once the digital age really, really kicked off. But without actual scratching, it's almost no real need to have actual turntables. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That also goes back to the performance aspect of it.
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point. So that's actually an interesting point, and a good point that you brought up. I haven't even thought about having the breaks and actually having somebody scratch or rewind or pull the track back to a specific point and then go back from there. I haven't even during this conversation, I haven't even thought about that. That's a good point, and maybe that's the lost art and the lost magic in all of this.
Yeah, but if you go that route, don't you actually think of them as beat makers? Because
the equipment.
They take a song, they flip it, they drag it, they can scratch it, blend it, come back with the beat, right? If you think about it, ain't that actually making
composing?
A different flow and a different beat? Because if you look at it that way, you got Kanye West that did it, you got Soundwave, all these like how Black said, DJ Quick, DJ Premier, DJ Cool Kid, everybody who can drag and blend. That craft, I honestly say, it's not looked upon as much anymore, because like how you said at the beginning, ain't nobody carrying around crates full of records and CDs. They carrying around a laptop and they're talking about, okay, I take this song, it go good with this. Got this mix, go here. All right, set this tempo, different. But doesn't it really boil down to is how the music and how the beat actually flows and how you can create in your mind, I can keep the whole entire crowd rocking if I'm doing it like this. Okay, and it's just like how you playing chess. You thinking 2-3 moves ahead. Okay, All right, right here, drop this. They gonna love it. A
Yeah.
lot of people nowadays, man, ain't thinking like that unless you really into. Take for tone, for instance. Shout out to Skullhead Productions.
Definite.
But take for tone, for instance. He has a Music Monday. Every Monday, he sits back, he mixes a different, beat or whatever else live. How many cats we actually know still doing that?
Yeah,
Or how
many.
many people that we actually know that, besides on the radio or whatever else, you can hear them sampling and putting together different music beats and stuff like that. A
Well, I
lot
mean,
of
I think
that
that
craft
comes
is
with
gone.
practice. Yeah, I
Right.
think a lot of that comes with practice. That's like the mechanic that can just literally put his ear to your car hood and tell you what's wrong with it. You know what I mean? They still exist. It's just very few and far between. I think
Yeah.
there are very few and far that can literally listen to a song on the radio or listen to a DJ mix on the radio while they're driving and can literally say, you know what, he should have came in one beat sooner than he did, or he came in two beats, after he should have.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's very few that can actually catch that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe our ears are just desensitized.
It could. I mean, it could be a little column A, little column B. It could be the fact that our ears are desensitized because there's so much that we hear. There's so much that's going on. There's so much that we're trying to process. Or maybe there are just people who are so in tune with music that they can
Yeah,
just they can sit there and they can say, okay, this is good. This is good. Okay, he's at 3/4. He's a bit too fast. He needs to slow down or whatever it may be. Or, it's too slow here. He needs to move faster or, whatever it may be. The tempo isn't right. And you can just go from there. But it may be a combination of all of it, man. Maybe our ears are desensitized. Maybe, the art of scratching, the art of the breaks has died. Maybe it's just one of those things that the golden era of DJing isn't needed anymore. And it's just, we can do everything electronically. You can call yourself a DJ as long as you got people who wants to be on your tracks and you just
yeah.
introduce and you do the puffy thing and that's that.
Well, I think it was Lil Wayne that said it, when he was coming up, music you had to actually listen to. Now today you just have to hear it. So I think that also plays into a big portion of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it can go a few different ways and it is very, very interesting. Sometimes it's almost confusing with the way music runs and the way everything works now, but we'll see what music holds for the DJs in the next 15, 20 years. Hopefully somebody back to this conversation and they're like, man, this is DJing now.
Yeah, because right now they got to catch up to Dre and Cali and everybody else, and they way ahead, like
By
leaps.
then they're gonna put a microchip in your head and you just gonna get the signal broadcast in.
Yeah, that's pretty much where it's gonna go next.
I hope not, because you know what I'm saying. Then people would not tune into our. They just be listening to our voices half the time.
That's
Nah,
cool.
they'll be having our voices in their head. It'll be creepy, but they'll have our voices in their head.
Everybody hears voices.
Yeah, we gonna be rocking, so trust me.
Yeah.
We'll have a whole archive by then.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit harder. Which show do you remember? Was that the hold on?
Nah, it's gonna be somebody like I remember
Brainstem.
back when I first heard them back when I was a young lad. I just didn't know they were gonna be so great. But here I am, old and feeble, and these fuckers are still funny. Excuse my French.
Man, terrible. So on that one, we will say, hey, thank you guys for checking out this episode of Clockwise Thoughts. You know how it goes, man. A clock is right only twice a day. Why not be right all the time? We'll catch you next time as the clock turns and resets here
Peace.
on Clockwise Thoughts.